The 2017 Ram Rebel. Are we looking at a true alternative to the Ford F-150 Raptor, or something not quite as extreme but still pretty cool off-road? I'm going to go with the latter option. I'm Jay and welcome to Car Buzz Unboxing Reviews, and what you see before you is the Ram Rebel 4x4 Crew Cab, and if you love off-roading, this is for you. And I also want to thank DGDG.com for letting us come on down and film today. So the Ram Rebel, now it first came out in 2015, and immediately people started comparing it like, look, is this a real Ford F-150 Raptor competitor? And the short answer is no, it's not. It is actually a better competitor to the first generation F-150 Raptor. The second generation is already on sale, and when you put the two side by side, especially in an off-road comparison test, the Ram Rebel doesn't really stand a chance. But I still think there is a really good market for this truck for those who really just don't want or need anything quite as extreme as the Ford F-150 Raptor here. So I think you can easily argue that Ram was inspired to come out with the Ram Rebel here because of the F-150 Raptor. And that's a really good thing. Competition isn't bad, but let's start up the engine here. Alright, so that was the sound of the 5.7 liter Hemi V8 with 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. Power goes to all four wheels through an 8-speed automatic transmission. However, four-wheel drive is not standard in the Ram Rebel. In fact, nor is the V8. Adding four-wheel drive as opposed to the standard rear-wheel drive costs an extra $2,100. And the Hemi is actually a $1,250 option. I think it's very well worth it, but I'll tell you about the base engine in just a few more minutes, because right now let's talk about this exterior. This is what they call brilliant black crystal paint. It's got these 17-inch aluminum wheels wearing all-terrain tires. You can see these dual rear exhaust with bright tips there. It's an overall very good-looking truck. I've always liked the front end styling of the Ram back, even when it was the Dodge Ram. Now Ram is its own separate brand within FCA. It just works so well for a full-size pickup truck. Now you'll also see the front end of this the Ram Rebel here in just a moment, and you'll notice that the front grille design is unique to the Rebel. It is different from the rest of the Ram 1500 lineup, and that's just fine. Now, some people just don't like the front end. There it is right there. Others do. I particularly like it. I do like the fact that Ram made the choice to give this car some distinctive styling. Now, this particular truck has quite a number of options here. It has the what they call the protection group for an extra $225. It gets you a transfer case skid plate, front suspension skid plate as well. You have a rear window defroster for $195. And also, I'm sure you notice along the sides, those black tubular side steps. Those cost an extra $425, and I really think they're well worth the $425 there. It's not a whole lot more to pay for some convenience for yourself. And of course, you're going to get a bunch of these Rebel badges throughout the exterior, and you're going to see them more when we step inside. Now, let's talk about some towing. So the V6 version of this truck, again, I'll tell you more about that in just a moment, is rated at 7,130 pounds for towing. Now, the V8 that you see here is rated at 9,950 pounds for towing, and a maximum payload of 1,350 pounds. So again, going for the V8, you get more power and you get a bit more towing capability for only $1,250. So yeah, I think the extra $1,200 is very well worth the money. And speaking of engines, here it is. 5.7 liter Hemi V8. We've seen this engine in many other products from FCA, specifically Dodges and other Ram 1500s as well. Now, the base engine here is the very familiar 3.6 liter V6 with 305 horsepower. This is that naturally aspirated Pentastar V6 that you see in so many other FCA products as well. Specifically, it's the base engine in the Dodge Charger and Challenger. But again, for a full-size pickup truck like this, I really recommend going for the V8. One of the reasons why, fuel economy. It's actually not a whole lot worse in the V8. 15 miles per gallon in the city, 21 on the highway, and a combined 17. Vehicle weighs 5,925 pounds. Performance, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.6 seconds. Top speed, only 107 miles per hour. But again, this is a full-size, off-road focused pickup truck. You really don't care about top speed. So let's take a look at this interior. Now, this is actually, it's not leather. They call this premium cloth seats. And yeah, I love, really actually love cloth seats that are of higher quality. And I think, again, it was a smart to go with cloth as opposed to leather, because if you're going to be going off-roading, you're probably going to come back in all muddy or whatever. And, you just don't want to have to bother with it. Cloth is so much easier to clean. Now, take a look here. Look at the pattern on the seats. The same goes for the front seats as well. That is the same pattern on those seat backs as the tread tires. That's a cool little touch that Ram did there, and I like stuff like that, just to kind of augment its off-road significance here. And look, you can get 3 adults in the back fairly comfortably too. That's one of the benefits of a crew cab. Yep, and there is more of that so-called tire tread along the seats there. Just a cool touch. And if you love the interior design of the regular Ram 1500, again, you're going to like it here as well, because why? It's exactly the same, with the exception of these unique seats, those Rebel badges there, and all that red trim. Just such a nice, solid dashboard design. I really like that wide center console there. It's a very manly, if you want to call it that, design. There's also a 7-inch driver's gauge cluster there as well, right behind the steering wheel. And all the controls, in my opinion, were very easy to work with. Very basic. It was not a particularly hard reach, and I'm not very tall, and I personally did not have a problem. One of the reasons why, well, the standard 10-way power driver seat. There's also a 6-way power passenger seat as well. There are heated front seats, power lumbar adjust as well. So it's very easy to get comfortable in this thing. Even the steering wheel is really has a nice touch. It's a heated and perforated steering wheel with that red stitching. And there you have the main infotainment system. Now that is the 8.4-inch screen. It is actually FCA's Uconnect infotainment system. And again, I'm just going to keep repeating this. In my opinion, Uconnect is the best infotainment system on the market today. It beats anything from BMW, Audi, Mercedes, even Ford's latest system as well. Uconnect is just so easy to use. It's quick and responsive. It doesn't reboot. Anybody can figure this out. And the quality of the graphics here, the LCD, is just fantastic. Now, this particular truck, again, it has more upgraded materials. This is the Uconnect 8.4 with the GPS navigation, Sirius XM radio. That's an extra $700. You also get 9-speaker Alpine speakers with subwoofer for an extra $345 as well. But you also have this standard dual-zone automatic climate control. Pretty cool. And here you have the air suspension. You can adjust the ride height very easily for off-road surfaces as well there. And one of the good things about having a truck of this size is just all that storage. Look at the dual glove box there. You have these, once you see it in a moment, in the rear seats, the second row in-floor storage bins, and the second row seats also fold flat for increased storage as well. I almost think in this center console storage, you could literally store a laptop computer in this thing. It is that wide. And it's really just amazing to me just how far full-size pickup trucks have come in a very short amount of time in terms of them becoming literally luxury vehicles. Yeah, I mean, with the exception of not having leather seats, there is almost nothing that this truck does not have that a lot of modern luxury cars do. Look, here's that sunroof for an extra $1,095. Personally, I would not go for it. I'm not a big fan of sunroofs, especially in full-size off-road pickup trucks, but again, that's just my personal opinion. I also like having that sliding rear glass window too. And this is really cool. Check this out, how you just turn this dial here for the transmission gear settings, as opposed to having the lever on the steering column. And I like that feature. FCA has done that in a number of cars. One off right off the bat is the now discontinued Chrysler 200. Here's that 7-inch driver's information screen. All your basic typical functions and information is there for you. Again, it's very, very clear. A little bit of glare here with from this angle, but I can assure you, in person, you can see everything just fine. Now, this front end styling, let's get back to that a little bit here. Again, yeah, I appreciate the fact that that Ram wanted to do something different. They wanted to make the Rebel look unique, especially when it's supposed to stand out from the rest of the Ram 1500 lineup. And they did their job admirably here. But you also have to understand something, why the Ram Rebel is not a really good Ford F-150 Raptor fighter. It's because this generation of Ram, or Ram 1500, is several years old, and the Ford F-150, along with the Ford F-150 Raptor, is brand new. So it's just a more modern pickup truck than this. So let's talk safety here. 4-star out of 5 stars overall for the U.S. government crash test rating, but it only scored 2 stars in the rollover test. However, you get advanced multi-stage front airbags, supplemental side curtain rear airbags, park view rear backup camera, locking tailgate, 4-wheel ABS disc brakes, speed control, anti-spin differential rear axle, and a rear view day and night mirror. How does this thing drive? Well, on any other road surface, it's actually quite nice considering its off-road nature. It has a very, very smooth ride. You can thank partially that air suspension for that. So let's talk more about the competition here. I keep mentioning the Ford F-150 Raptor. That is this truck's main competitor without question. If you're also looking for just similar sized and packaged pickup trucks within this class, you have the Chevrolet Silverado 1500. It's a corporate twin, the GMC Sierra 1500, the new Nissan Titan, and the Toyota Tundra. I've done unboxing reviews of all those trucks as well. Now, this truck here is also equipped with the spray-on bed liner for an extra $495. Again, it's a feature I really, really recommend anybody who wants a truck gets. So let's talk pricing here. Now, the base price for the Ram Rebel is $45,095. Of course, that's with the standard V6 engine and rear-wheel drive. Now, our truck with the V8 and four-wheel drive carried a base price of $47,095. And with all the extra features I've been mentioning, plus a $1,320 destination fee, grand total, $54,800. Now, I want to compare that pricing to the Ford F-150 Raptor, which is now on sale. That begins at around $49,000, but you can equip it all the way up to around $64,000, $65,000. Meaning, these two trucks, the Ram Rebel and the Ford F-150 Raptor, are very, very similarly priced. Now, if anyone who wants to go do some off-road extremes, such as like Baja 1000 style, let me tell you, without question, go for the Raptor. If you don't want something just, again, that extreme, but you want something cool and off-roading and unique, go for the Ram Rebel. But I will say this. There is no question the the Ford Raptor owners are going to fly past you on the sand dunes. All right, so what do I like here? The sound and attitude of the Hemi V8. This truck, it just rides very nicely, especially considering its off-road nature, and I dig the cool exterior styling. It just fits the part. What don't I like? Well, I think those fender flares look kind of cheesy. It's almost as if like they're just bolted on the exterior without much thought going into it. And those hood scoops on the hood, they're not functional. They're just for show. But the bottom line here is this is a cool and above all really nice off-roader truck, but it's not a Ford F-150 Raptor fighter. But I'm out of time for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Any more questions for me, just leave them in the comment section below.